What will your assessment be of where the precious metals market be headed? And if your view is positive, what factor in your opinion will aid this up move?
Thank you for having me. Yes, the overall outlook continues to be bullish because see, when we look at gold, I'll first take gold and then move to silver. Gold, we can break the demand into three kinds or three pillars. First, the consumption demand. Basically the consumption through jewelry. Now that demand is price sensitive, so when prices rise significantly, that demand tends to be muted. But what's been driving the gold over the past few years is the diversification demand, which is the demand from central banks to diversify away from their extreme concentration in the dollar, and also of institutions to diversify away from the financial risk. Now that demand will continue to rise because we are going through an advanced stage of de-dollarization. And that's the reason why the central banks are accumulating gold by selling their fiat currency holdings. So that trend should continue. And institutions who are, especially in the West, who are largely underinvested into gold, we see that allocation rise. Now, the third pillar is speculative. They tend to get excited, overexcited, and then the overall position flattens. And that's what we are seeing right now in gold. There is strong speculative demand in silver, but in gold that is missing because gold is going through a time and price correction. So this is a good thing for the long term, the next 12 months. And we expect that from this launch pad, the gold prices to rise, because if I look at the US the macroeconomic backdrop, it looks like a K-shaped economy where the consumer is sinking and sinking hard. It is the AI and data center theme and the investments around that that's holding up the stock market and the GDP. Now, Trump is facing an election risk next November, and he very well knows that he has to spend a lot in the economy, and that has to be backstopped by the Federal Reserve, which means in spite of the high inflation in America on the ground, Fed has to ignore that. They have already announced a backdoor QE of 40 billion a month. I think we could see the Fed cut rates aggressively and also look at somewhat a kind of a yield curve control kind of a mechanism, which means the dollar debasement rate is going to increase, which is very positive for gold and of course for silver. Gold can scale levels of $5,200 and can go higher than that because the currency debasement rate, in my opinion, can actually increase a lot. And second, coming to silver, it has a compelling case of the industrial story and from sectors which are seeing rising demand, the electronics, the electrical, and the whole solar industry. And every major economy is hoarding silver, declaring it as a critical mineral. We are seeing a sort of a fight evolve between the Asia and the West. Asia is buying silver, taking the delivery through either through ETFs or through other means. And West is trying to compensate that by doing derivative shorts. But that's creating a typical squeeze in the market. So silver can overshoot. Our overall target is around $80. We won't be surprised if it goes to even $85 or $90 in 2026. So both these metals look like an exciting story in 26 as well.